Hey guys, it's Peggy with Your Hunger Satisfied. I hate that you can see those. Anyway, I wanted to talk today a little bit about forgiveness. It's just exactly who do you need to forgive when you have a setback on emotional eating. Oh, by the way, welcome to Your Hunger Satisfied. I'm Peggy Dunn, your host. I'm a mental health therapist as well as a certified life coach, functional medicine health coach, and I help women overcome emotional eating by discovering what they're truly hungry for and learn to satisfy their deepest cravings. So do me a favor and let me know where you're watching from. And I apologize for being late tonight or today. And today it was very important for me to tell you that I am a health coach who helps women overcome emotional eating by discovering what they're truly hungry for and learning to satisfy their deepest cravings. Because I have been a little absent on Instagram and Facebook because I had a complete meltdown in my own emotional eating. I got into one of my old way of dealing with emotional eating, and I had gone completely hog wild. Sorry, my dog's making a lot of noise over here. But I wanted to kind of talk to you about what happened, how I overcame it, and what we can do about this. Because, like I said, I had a complete meltdown. And so I disappeared for a while. And now I'm back because I learned some things. Um, First thing I learned was I have to show myself compassion. I had gone completely, totally hog wild and thought I could just pick up where I left off. Back to my old good habits, whatever. After all, I'm a health coach and I know how to do this, right? Well, then I realized I was beating myself up for having the total breakdown. I was questioning my ability to be a health coach and help others in this area. And then I realized that that's the old me. I used to beat myself up, and I did it for so many years. And it doesn't work. It only makes the cycle perpetuate further and makes me feel bad about myself. So I had to remember one of the lessons I learned was to be compassionate to myself, talk to myself as I would one of my clients. You had a setback. Now, what are we going to do about it? What did you learn? I had to let go of the judgment. And another thing I learned was, you get to your greatest moments of clarity when you're at your lowest points. Because, as I said, I was trying to question why I was a health coach, why I'm helping others, and I had to go back over all those lessons and I had to accept that I was human. So, first, I had to accept exactly where I was. I totally blew it. Okay. Then, once I accepted that, once I let go of the self judgment, then I just had to get curious. What was it that had me going completely hog wild? Why did I go overboard? What was really behind it? So I did some journaling and I realized that I had some uncomfortable feelings to deal with. We were coming into the holiday season, and for me, that's a very difficult time. I don't have the family gatherings that I used to have because we now have my dad passed, who was the last one besides me living here in St. Louis. Everybody else is scattered all over the United States. So I don't have those family get togethers, holiday get togethers anymore. And I noticed that a lack of people in my life at certain times really sets me down. It gets me depressed. So I had to accept that, realize that about myself. So over the past year or two, I've been cultivating friendships. I love my international cooking class. I love Thistledew, which if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see there I had a Christmas dinner last night with my Thistledew chosen family. So go there and you'll learn a little bit about it. We had a fabulous dinner. And so I also, another lesson I learned was that somewhere along the way, because I've been doing this so good for so long, that I didn't allow the possibility of setbacks anymore. I was going to be perfect. I got this. Well, guess what? I don't. At times. I am human. I'm going to have setbacks too, which I think is actually what makes me a pretty good coach. I get where you're coming from. I get that this is a struggle for us. I get you can be doing good for a long time and then something happens. For me, it was the holiday season that caused an issue for me. And I realized because perfectionism had set back in that I had to examine why did it set back in. And I realized I had slipped on doing my meditation and visualization in the morning. I do that for 15 minutes every single morning. And it keeps my future that I desire in front of me at all times. And I didn't realize how important it was to always keep that goal. That's what makes these in the moment decisions so much easier to make because it's like, okay, the pleasure of this chocolate or the pleasure of health, being able to do what I want to do. And I realized there are times I have to call somebody for help. Even a health coach needs help. Even I need a coach. So it's very important to get that supportive community in place. I have my own health coach, Michelle Rawls of Show Me Nourish. I have community that I can call on like Thistledew, people that live at Thistledew. And the reason she calls it Thistledew, just because you're curious, because I've had that question on my Facebook page already, and it's only been posted in less than 12 hours, is because she's a woman who specializes in growing Missouri native plants in her yard. And so she calls her house Thistledew. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I digress. So another thing is you have to learn to ask for help and receive it. I'm good at giving help, but not so good at receiving it. That's something I've had to learn. And in all honesty, I'm still learning it. That is one of my biggest lessons that I need to learn because I grew up in a family where it's be independent, do it yourself, you're self sufficient, which I am, but I need help on occasion. So, listen to your body is another one. It will tell you what you need. You only have one, so take care of it. I have to go back and look at what my future is to look like. My health is the foundation of everything I do. That's one of those mantras I keep in my head at all times. Because for me, health is what gives me the stamina, the energy to go do the things I want to do in life. For me, becoming a stronger, leaner, more flexible Peggy can be the difference in the future of being in a home or in a nursing home. I learned that one with my dad. I've seen his decline. I am not going there. And one of the other things that one of the other lessons I've learned is believe it or not, this setback ended up being a blessing. Because, first of all, it makes me realize just how far I've actually come over these last few years. I do have this. I do this most of the time. But even I occasionally have setbacks. That's okay. Don't need to beat yourself up. Have compassion. Let go of the judgment. Accept this is where you are and start thinking of where you want to go. It also prevented me from taking my health for granted. It really cements in those lessons that I've learned over the years. That helps me stay disciplined in my habits. So just know that emotional eating setbacks are a natural part of the process of cultivating a healthier relationship with food. And embracing self forgiveness is essential. In fact, it's actually transformative. It allows me to move past the guilt and the shame, which used to be my normal way of being, but it is not anymore. I am amazed at how forgiveness has transformed the way I see myself, the way I feel about my own self. It fosters a mindset of resilience and growth. I now see this setback as a learning opportunity, of another opportunity to practice self compassion. So I can realize that this journey is a marathon and not a sprint, and that I need to take time to celebrate each of those steps of progress. And I choose to see it as a blessing because it makes me realize how far I have come, to enjoy the journey, not to focus on the destination. So, anyway, you need to learn to forgive yourself. And I teach all of that in my Your Hunger Satisfied program. If you want more information, just put it in the comments below, DM me. I'm not exactly sure the right terminology to use, but I got a heck of a learning curve with all this social media presence, influence, whatever you want to call it. So, anyway, I have finally forgiven myself. I want you to forgive yourself and contact me if you need support. We can do this. We can do this together. So, in the meantime, make it a joyful week, and I will see you next time. And thank you so much for being patient with me starting an hour later because I completely forgot. I'm getting kind of tired of coming up with these excuses. I'm going to have to learn to figure out a way to be consistent because this is an additional to the Instagram reels and stories and all the other stuff that you're going to be seeing. Because 2024 is going to be an absolutely fabulous year. I am actually planning on starting the launch of my next program February 13th. In February, January 9th, we're going to have this resolution failure event. Oh, no, that's January 27th. January 9th is the eating healthy on a budget. We're actually, Michelle and I are going to be doing this at Aldi's here in O'Fallon on Veterans Memorial Parkway. So you're welcome to join us. Cost is only $10. But on January 27th, we're going to do resolution failure event because so many of you are going to set New Year's resolution to lose that weight, and 97% of people will not succeed at that. So once you've tried it and failed at it, we're going to show you the right way to do it. And we're going to start with that on January 27th, and you can launch into our program on February 13th. All right, make it a joyful week, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.